And this is why Tiger Woods keeps working. This is why Warren Buffett keeps working. It's why Richard Branson keeps working. The only way in which businesses or people will become successful and truly perform to their optimum is an amazing question. I think that's probably the best question I've ever been asked.
Jamil, thank you for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you here so early in the morning. I typically on this podcast won't introduce people because I'll do a little bit of a pre-introduction, but your background and the work you've done specifically with high performance people and successful people is so compelling and fascinating that I feel like I want you to introduce yourself. And I read through your bio multiple times. It was deeply inspiring. And I think without an introduction, everything we talk about from here, without the perfect introduction, which I feel like only you'll give, everything we talk about from here on might not have the context it needs to have. So who is Jamil Kreshu?
I'm a performance coach and psychologist. So I've sort of spent my time working with some very good sports teams, some very good business teams.
You're being humble, aren't you?
Some successful people. And I guess what I do is I help people cultivate a mindset for success. Mm-hmm. So I always say that for us to act differently, we need to think differently. So we're going to create different behaviors, different actions. It's about creating different thoughts first. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I do more than anything else is help people change their mind. Mm-hmm. So I always say there's new opportunities, new possibilities that will come from new perspectives. So a lot of my time is spent working with people, not to give them new skills, but more to allow them to understand the skills that they've already got and then create a perspective for them to use it differently. So as a performance coach, I think everyone can be better. Everyone can perform better. It's just a matter of, I guess, trying to create the mindset, the attitude, I guess some of the precursors to the performance, which are benefit to them. And
so you said that everybody has the skills. And I see that in a lot of my friends. I see that they have a lot more sort of natural capabilities than they've managed to sort of give the world through their actions. If someone has an ambition to be something, if they have the ambition to be, a sports star, I know you've worked with a lot of athletes and you've worked with business people, or they want to start a business, what you tend to see, and what I tend to see in my inbox is a lot of people with intention, but there seems to be something preventing that intention from turning into action or like behavior.
Into an achievement.
Yeah.
And I think that, turning ambition into achievement is the key because, most people will have good intentions. Most people will be wishing and hoping to be better. But there's a big difference between wishing and hoping and believing and executing upon it. So I think that the people who genuinely execute on it probably want it more for a start. Mm. And that's the key. No one's ever wandered around the bottom of a mountain and then simply found themselves at the top. Mm. It does take that determination, the resilience. It does take the ability to execute upon ideas to drive success. Mm. So I think the key is the desire, which is fueled by having a purpose, a mission, a vision towards what that end goal should look like.
A lot of people can't quite... they say one thing. They say that their purpose is to go to the gym.
Yeah.
For example.
We all say one thing and do the other.
Yeah. And why is that? Like, because it's sometimes hard to distinguish with someone, whether that's their real sort of desire or whether they're kind of like virtue signaling to themselves that they want to be something or, they want to start that business or become an entrepreneur or be, get a six pack. But then their actions show that quite a different story. So I always wonder that with some of my friends. I always think, do they actually want that or are they just...
It's very easy to say that this is what I'm after and much harder to do it. And I think one of the reasons why is because we have to invest, we self-invest. So we probably want these kids at school who are great footballers at 14, 15. You think, they're going to make it. They're just brilliant. They're going to make it. Or great track athletes at 12, and you just think they're special. But they don't make it. And the reason why they don't make it is they don't self-invest. So the people who make it are the ones who will get up on a rainy Friday morning, get up on a rainy Saturday morning to go and practice whilst their mates are in bed. The ones who will practice on a Friday night when their mates are out drinking. Mm. And so talent is not enough. You need talent plus teachability. So talent plus the ability to be open-minded, agile in our thinking, to commit to practice and turn that practice into something which develops our talent even further. Mm. So there's lots of people with talent in business, lots of people with talent in sport. But I guess that we need to be open-minded enough to invest in how we practice our talent to become successful. So, there's no substitute for practice. I get lots of golfers who say to me that, can you make me better? And the number one golfer in the world will practice more than any amateur, and there lies the truth. But, we need to apply ourselves in a particular manner. And so we need to be practical about how we exercise our talent. You create good feedback loops to understand what we're doing, gain better personal introspection and self-awareness to allow us to use our talents differently.
How do you give someone that purpose though? Like, I'm trying to think, like, so we know practice is like so incredibly important to master something, but I guess my question is, how would you give someone that motivation? Because I guess you can't give someone purpose. A lot of us spend so much of our lives trying to motivate people, right? To motivate friends, families, siblings, whatever it might be. And I'm wondering if there's a thing we can do as like loving friends or whatever to give someone that kick.
Yeah. So, a couple of points, I guess, on that. In regard to discovering purpose, it can't be done for someone. So I always say purpose is never achieved. It's attained on a daily basis. So the mistake that people make with purpose is they confuse it with an end goal. So here's my purpose, and they have this vision statement of what they're seeking to, achieve or create, whatever it might be, and they get practical and tangible about it. But purpose isn't that. Purpose is achieved on a daily basis. Purpose is never achieved. It's attained on a daily basis. And this is why Tiger Woods keeps working. This is why Warren Buffett keeps working. It's why Richard Branson keeps working. It's because it's never achieved. It's attained on a daily basis. So I think that, we need to find something which is purposeful to us. And then we need to lose ourselves to it on a regular basis. So once we start to become more purpose driven and express ourselves in a particular way, I always say being a good colleague, being a good business leader, being a good sports person is not seeking to impress. It's about seeking to express and be ourselves in the context of our work. So once people can find that within themselves, then I think they can direct their energy and their focus in a particular way and become much more purpose-driven in how they go about their daily activities. But you can't give someone that purpose. It has to be theirs. And I think life is about timing. I think some people find that very late. Some people find that very early. And it makes no difference. We're all individuals.